An ergonomic wireless keyboard that can connect to 3 devices. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I work from home like a lot of people, which means I have my own little mini display, I have a keyboard, I have a mouse, I have all these peripherals so I can actually have a good and effective and productive workspace. But a wired keyboard, that's kind of old school, and if I have multiple devices, I end up constantly unplugging and plugging things in, and some of the devices I have don't have plugs. They're not compatible with wired keyboards. For example, my iPhone. Enter this. This is the Kensington KB675 ProFit Ergo wireless rechargeable keyboard. They really put a lot of words on there, but suffice to say, it's a really slick keyboard, and as you can see, the design is very distinct. It is an ergonomic split keyboard. It'll take you a little while to retrain your hands and your muscle memory to use this, but it's much better for you physically and ergonomically. And it's nice and thin. It has a soft wrist rest that I really like. And it is a 93 key keyboard. And here's something that's really nice, is it's made of 65% post-consumer recycled materials. So it's not just all pristine plastics, which is great. So up to 3 devices, like I said. 2 of those devices can be Bluetooth. The third device, there's a little dongle. PC users are familiar with this. This dongle is something that actually uses 128-bit encryption. It's a 2.4 gigahertz dongle. So you plug this into your PC, you're ready to go with your keyboard. It's like instantly paired. There's no work involved there. On Bluetooth, you switch to Bluetooth, you go into your device, you choose Settings, Bluetooth Pair. It's easy. I paired this with my MacBook Pro. I paired this with my iPhone. And then if you're not going to use the dongle, there's a convenient little spot where you can just store it for later, which I really like. Oh, while we're looking at the bottom, there are little tabs, and this is a little different to what you're used to because the tabs are on the front to make it tilt further back, because the goal here is to have your wrists in a good position. That's the point of these ergonomic keyboards. So on a regular keyboard, I tend to type like this, and you could just see from the angle of my wrists and stuff, no bueno, this is not really what I want to do. So here, because the keyboard's split, my hand can have more of a straight line, and because the keyboard's tilted down, I can actually have my wrists in a much better, much more comfortable position. So that's actually really cool. Now, let me give you some close-up so you can see all the keys. And like I said, there is a little bit of retraining involved, and I'm still working on that myself. So I'll give you some typing demos, and you'll be like, wow, that guy types really slowly. I promise, once my brain gets rewired, this is going to be a rock and roll thing. Now, there's a special button on the keyboard that lets you switch between your inputs, and in the middle, there are 3 little RGB lights, one of which shows you which input you're on. The second one shows you if you're in shift lock, and the third one, it will flash if you're running low on battery. I'm gonna actually flip off those feet. And so right now, if I'm recalling correctly, I have it paired with my Mac. So I'm gonna spin around my second display, and you can see, let's see, that looks like a good angle. So I can type pretty slowly. See, the problem I have is I'm used to having my hands above the keyboard, so now my fingers are in the wrong place. So how did that do? Okay, that's not too bad. It's slowly, we'll like roll with that. So now I'm gonna switch to my phone. So I'm gonna put my phone here, and then I'm going to push that button that changes inputs, and that should get me to the phone. This is my phone. Yeah, the text is pretty small on there, but you can see it's not showing up on my Mac, it's showing up on my phone. And then if I want to go back to my Mac, I push it once, which is in the dongle, and then I push it a second time, and now I'm back on the Mac, and with any luck, I can at least fix the spelling here. Oops, that's not how you spell that. Lowly. There we go. So now you can see I have fixed the spelling. So that's really the functionality. But what's cool about this is that they also have something called Kensington Connect for keyboards. And when we switch to that, and I'm going to have to spin this around just so you can get this. Now, when I'm here, I can actually go into settings, and it has like programmable keys and stuff. So let's see, where's my mouse? Oh, this is not a good angle for me to work. So I'll click here. And so here's the full keyboard layout, and then I can click on an individual key. So like here's F3, and now you can see there's all these things I can assign to it. So I can do this like really customized layout. And this could be Mac or PC. I could have it launch Zoom calls or open up the sharing window. I can actually program it for a game if that's what I prefer. So lots of functionality in this program. It's a free download. It works really well with this. And then what else can I tell you about it? So it's a 500 milliamp hour battery. You charge it USB-C right there on the top. And in fact, it comes with a USB-C to USB-A cable. And once it's charged, they say it's 90 hours of use. That's a lot of time. So I have not been able to test that. When you aren't using it, there is a slider on the back that is on off. If you just turn it off, you will preserve your battery life. So that's worth knowing. The 6-foot cable, programmable keys, RGB buttons or RGB indicators in the center. That's really everything. It's highly compatible Mac or Windows. It's kind of more of a Windows keyboard, to be honest. So it does have Mac functionality and such, but it has a Windows key. So if you're on a Mac and you push that, you're like, what did I just do? So it is something where it's completely compatible with both. And you can use it with both. I would like to see them have two versions, one that's like official Mac keys and key caps and stuff, but I think it's probably more logical for them to have the one unit for both, and who knows what you're going to hook it up to. It is a Bluetooth keyboard with that dongle for things that want USB-A connections, so you can hook it up to a wide variety of devices. Definitely Linux and Chromebooks, and probably a lot of gaming systems and stuff will work just fine with this. I haven't tested that, but it should be perfectly compatible. And then in terms of dimensions, it's 15.7 inches by 10.2 inches by 1.6 inch. So it's pretty darn thin. It's 1.7 pounds. It's super lightweight. This would be such an easy thing to tote around from room to room. Now, I did tell you that it comes with that dongle, it also comes with the cable, and it comes with a pretty impressive amount of paperwork. This might be the same documents in multiple languages, that's entirely possible, but there's a lot of stuff. They're really not hanging you out to dry here. They have a lot of information about how to get it all paired with whatever device you're working with or devices, and how to then use it from that point, and of course, how to customize it if that's what you really want to do. So I really like it. It's a simple solution to a fairly simple problem, but an important problem, because if you're like me, there are days when you're like halfway through and you're like, my wrists hurt. My hands are a little tweaky is how I describe it. And it's just because you're starting to get some repetitive stress problems and you don't want to go to the doctor. You want to change out your workspace to make it more human friendly, more ergonomic. And that's exactly what this keyboard will let you do. And it will let you do it without any wires. It's absolutely magic. So definitely one to check out, and honestly one to check out before you start to have problems with your hands and before you start to have any pain. If you're typing day after day, this is a nice way to take a break and to try out a different keyboard design. Obviously, there's no laptop on the market that has this keyboard design because they just don't have space for it. But when it's a separate keyboard, it can be whatever size it needs to have all the keys in a more human-friendly design. So I think this is one that you definitely should be checking out if you're a heavy typer or if you just want to try something different. Now, I do want to talk about the price, but before we get there, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel. A click or a tap on that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon for notifications, please. And if this was of value, I always appreciate that thumbs up. Cool. Now, this is the Kensington KB675 Pro Fit Ergo wireless rechargeable keyboard, and it's $67.66 at Amazon.com. That is a pretty solid price for something that will let you use multiple devices with a tap of a button and is going to help you with your wrist and hand health. That's a pretty important thing there. So that's all I got. I need to continue practicing because right now my typing is pretty embarrassing. So next time it'll be better. But for now, I hope to catch you in my next video.